Our devotional thought today from the book of Matthew deals with maybe the saddest character in the entire Bible, Judas Iscariot. Matthew 26, beginning with verse 14. Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples, went away to the leading priests, and he asked, "How much will you pay me to betray Jesus to you?" And they gave him 30 pieces of silver, payment in advance. From that time on, Judas began looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus. Now, beloved, betrayal is one of the most painful things that you will ever experience in life. But betrayal is probably the most destructive thing when you do it to somebody else. But where does betrayal begin? What is the switch in a person's heart that makes them be willing to go and negotiate the price of betrayal? It starts with correction. Matthew 26, beginning with verse 10, Jesus, aware of what Judas and the others were saying, said, "Why criticize this woman for doing such a good thing?" And when you put the other gospels together with it, you see all the criticism started with Judas. Judas is the one who attacked Jesus and said, "This is wasteful." Jesus said, "You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me. She poured out this perfume on me to prepare my body for burial. I tell you the truth, wherever the good news is preached throughout the world, this woman's deed will be remembered and discussed." Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went to the leading priests, and he negotiated the price of betrayal. Now, what was the switch in his heart? He wanted more money for himself. Judas had been stealing for a long time, but he wanted more money for himself. And when he got corrected that day, that was the final switch. That being corrected, that being pushed back away from getting some money, that being pushed back away from access to more greed and more corruption, that pushback immediately triggered him to betray. Now, it begins with a trigger of correction, but then it's really focused in greed. Look in verse 15. He said, "How much will you pay me? I'm not getting enough from Jesus over here. How much will you pay me to betray Jesus to you?" And they gave him 30 pieces of silver. There was a time in my life I had a goal to collect 30 tire shekels, 30 pieces of silver, and hang them on the wall so that all would see this was the price of the betrayal of Jesus. But those coins got too expensive. I think I got 3 or 4. But every time I hold one of those coins in my hand and I think, for 30 of these, that's all he wanted. It was greed. It was all about money. Now, beloved, at some point or another in your life, you're going to find the trigger of correction and a desire of greed at the basis, in the root, in the very heart, in the core of the being of every person who betrays you. So don't fight with it. It's not about you. It's about what's in their heart.